What's up, everybody? Y'all, come on in. Y'all, come on in. What's up, Gabriella? What's up, Claudia? What's up, Javon? Y'all, come on in. We'll get started in a little while. What you said, Javon, you can find a comment? Yeah, because you told me they was blocking you for a while, though. Yeah, come on in. Y'all, come on in. What's up, True to Astrid? What's up, Brian Frazier? Alright, we'll give him another minute, y'all, and we'll get started. We'll get started. What's up, Brandon? All right. How about we go and get it in? How about we go and get it in? Then everybody else will come in when they come in. So now, this will be part 2 to my thought bomb lecture. So I'm gonna reiterate some things in there that I said at the beginning of the lecture for historical purposes. This lecture is called Sith History and Mythos. You see what I'm saying? Because you know, we got the Sith teachings. Historically, yes, the Sith were real. Yes. They were very real. How do we know they was real? Because the original word for Sith, or the whole idea for the word Sith, came derived from the priesthood of Seth or Soot, which was his original name. What's up, Annabelle? Yes, that was his original name, Soot. You see what I'm saying? Soot is another way of saying that triple dark ash. You see what I'm saying? So let's start with Soot for a little bit. Let's start there. Well, we're gonna reiterate what I said at the beginning of the first lecture. Then we're gonna get back to the historical side of it. What is a Sith? A Sith is a practitioner of the dark arts, or melanin arts, as we also know it. Where the word Sith come from is Old English, actually, and it means life. Simply, it just simply means life, or life journey, or lifetime, or to journey. Like literally, when I looked it up on Wiktionary, that's what it's called, Wiktionary, and I looked up the meaning of the word, they literally use the term Christ Sith, life, was one of hardship and struggle for the most part. I'm paraphrasing on that part, but they literally start out the sentence as Christ Sith, or life. You see what I'm saying? Which interprets as life. That's how they used it in a sentence. You see what I'm saying? That's literally how they used it in a sentence there. So yeah, Sith means life. Actually, it doesn't mean what they say it means. You see what I'm saying? They never actually told us what Sith means, just like they never told us what Jedi mean. We had to go and find it out for ourselves. See what I'm saying? So what we got going on here? What's happening with this thing we call the Sith? Well, what are they about? You know, in Star Wars, they are a reflection of what's going on historically. The priesthood of Seth, or the priesthood of Soot, which Soot just means triple dark ash. They were practitioners of that triple darkness, that melanin. What is the triple darkness? The triple darkness is source melanin, which is the original jazzy intelligence, quantum melanin, or antimatter, and universal melanin, or what we know as dark matter. That's the triple darkness. You see what I'm saying? And of course, we correspond to all three of those with our own universe. You see what I'm saying? We have our own universal melanin. See what I'm saying? Our own spiritual or soul melanin. You see what I'm saying? So psycho melanin, as we also call it. So you know, with this being said, they were practitioners of this. They practiced the dark arts heavily. You know, advancing it in their way, because they was always about tapping into their melanin. They was always about tapping into their melanin because they was always about death and rebirth, surpassing their limitations, immortality, going further than pushing the grain, going further than the average spiritualist or magi or wizard or Jedi. You see what I'm saying? They took it to the next level. See what I'm saying? So this is what you got going on when we talk about Soot. Now, Soot is actually an ancient Egyptian god. You see what I'm saying? Or Seth is an ancient Egyptian god. What's up, Lisa? And this ancient Egyptian god was the god of chaos, melanin, the desert, melanin, storms, melanin, because storms represent what I got here. Raw power of your melanin. Storms represent the raw power of your melanin. The desert represents you pretty much walking through your mind. The sand is melanin. You see what I'm saying? The sand in the desert is melanin. See what I'm saying? The desert, you see what I'm saying? You walking through your mind, walking through them chambers, trying to find yourself, because your mind is more like a desert than anything, because the desert is what? Mainly empty. You see what I'm saying? There's nothing really in a desert, you know? So your mind has a direct connection to that, because your mind is supposed to be empty. It's supposed to be neutral. So the desert is what? Neutral. It's hot as hell, But that's about it, you know. But it still has its balance because you can cut a cactus open and get water out of it. You know, yes, that's a true statement. Cactus does have water in them, so you just have to cut them open. Just don't get poked by one of them motherfuckers. And deep within the chasm of deep within the chasm of it, you have this water. You see what I'm saying? Which makes sense. That's like going into your subconscious mind. You know, reaching in there to get that water. What's up, Dorothy? So this is what you got going on. So he the god of chaos, desert, storms, and fire. Of course, he's the god of fire. The inner belly fire, though. Tumo, as I call it. As they call it in the East. Tumo, the inner belly fire. You see what I'm saying? He's the god of that. So, you know, when we dealing with Sith, you know, we dealing with his teachings, we dealing with the priesthood. You know, what was his cult center located? It was located in Umbos. You know, it was called Umbos. You know, Umbos is just another way of saying universal or divine utterance, because the root word of Umbos is own. You see what I'm saying? It's own, you know. So, this priesthood of Sith was a very powerful priesthood because they literally was south of Kemet, the Jedi. You see what I'm saying? They literally was south of them. And what y'all know today, president is Sudan, if I'm not mistaken. If I remember correctly, they was like literally southeast of Kemet, so which was Sudan. So because the priesthood of Jed Tech was like east of Kemet, and they inhabited a city called Jeddu. So Omnibus was south of Jeddu, and so and they all pretty much worked together and tapped into their own energies, and you know, share energies and teachings. You see what I'm saying? So this Sith energy, this is what you got going on when we talk about Sith. You see what I'm saying? Or Sith, as y'all know these days. Let's see. You know, if y'all never seen Sith or Sith, what's up, Jeremy? This is what he looks like. Let's get some visuals here. Let us get some visuals. I like this image of him. He look raw and uncut. Sith. You know what I'm saying? There you go. Or Sith, as y'all also know. He look raw and uncut in that image. And he was always seen holding a wasp scepter. Now, if y'all never seen the wasp scepter, it looks like this. Now, they said that the wasp scepter is interesting because he also held the Ankh as well. But they said that this wasp scepter is what you like to call a set animal. Most people trying to figure out what the fuck is this set animal here. You know, what is that set animal there? Well, the set animal is actually your inner melanin monster. You see what I'm saying? The set animal is actually your inner melanin monster. You see what I'm saying? So the personification of all your internal monstrous forces, your melanin monster. You see what I'm saying? So this is what you got going on here. It also has what? 2 prongs at the bottom. What the 2 prongs represent? Of course, it represents balanced chaos. Oh, you see what I'm saying? Balanced darkness. Balanced melanin. You see what I'm saying? That's what it represents. So he's always seen wielding this. You see what I'm saying? He's always seen wielding this particular scepter. You know? And they show you another image. They have it set up here. The wasp scepter, which they always said that melanin is evil in their eyesight. So the wasp scepter, which represents your melanin power, they say it's evil, right? Plus the Jed pillar, Osiris, which is next to the wasp scepter, and then you have then the Jed pillar or Jedi represents balance, represents stability, and it represents transformation. You see what I'm saying? Spiritual transformation. So you know, so you got the wasp scepter, which represents melanin power and melanin attunement and entombment. What's up, Isis? What's up, Charles? So you got the watch scepter, which represents melanin power and melanin attunement and entombment. You got the Jed pillar, which represents balance, stability, fortitude, and spiritual transformation. And then you got the Ankh, which represents life or everlasting life, which is your soul body. So soul body, this corresponds to your spine, and this corresponds to your melanin. When all three of those energies are in harmony with each other, which is, y'all see Ptah wheel, this particular staff here, the Ptah staff. When all three of those energies are working together, then you are the Jedi Master. You see what I'm saying? Or the spiritual master, or the soul master. You see what I'm saying? Because you have integrated all three of these energies, these forces inside of you, and now they are as ones. Soul, soul, Kundalini, and melanin. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Soul, Kundalini / spirit. You see what I'm saying? Kundalini / spirit / the force, however you like to say it, and melanin. All operating as one single entity, you produce power, Ptah. You see what I'm saying? That's what Ptah means. Ptah actually means power. You see what I'm saying? Alchemical, raw alchemical power. You see what I'm saying? So that's what you got going on when we talking about the historical side of it. Where did these concepts come from? They all came from ancient Egypt. See what I'm saying? It all came from ancient Egypt for a reason, you know. This watch scepter is a very powerful concept, you know. And just like the Jedi had a very powerful storyline. You see what I'm saying? I dropped the Jedi history in Mythos a long time ago. I'm saying about 2 years ago. Well, the Sith history in Mythos is just as deep, because you also got Nebet Het. Who is Nebet Het? That is the feminine energy, the feminine counterpart of Sith or Sith, or Nephthys, as y'all call her. And she looks like this. Also got a badass picture of her as well. A fire-ass picture of hers also, that I posted not too long ago. This is Nephthys, or Nebet Het. See what I'm saying? Her picture a little darker, so let's get some light here. There we go. She looks just like this. Nebet Het. See what I'm saying? Of course, this is how she look like. This is what she look like on the walls. Y'all already know what Sith look like on the walls. And she also carried a scepter, which is also known as another version of the watch scepter. But notice, hers has a cauldron on it. What is this cauldron? The cauldron represents it represents alchemical mixtures. You know, you usually putting alchemical formulas in there, mixing shit together to produce alchemical formulas. So it literally represents mixing and coagulating new things to produce new alchemical formulas. You see what I'm saying? So she deals with, because she's the goddess of the dead, so she deals with the ancestral energies. She's also the goddess of air, which is the life force. She's goddess of the water, which is the subconscious mind. She's also goddess of protection and childbirth. You see what I'm saying? She don't really get as much love. And her cult center is what they called it here. They called her cult center. Let me find it. Now write it down. Okay, it was called Sesh. It's called Sesh. It called Seshit. Seshit. Yeah, Seshit. There we go. It's called Seshit. So her region was called Seshit. You see what I'm saying? But you know, she didn't have a main cult center like a lot of other deities. She just had a region. You see what I'm saying? She just had a region in ancient Egypt where everybody, where she pretty much was the gods of dead for pretty much everybody. You see what I'm saying? What's up, Camelish? So you know, you got this deity, and she's very powerful. She's very powerful. You know, she's very powerful. You know, also her watch scepter represents magic, alchemy, and feminine energy. It also represents melanin magic. You see what I'm saying? So she has these powerful powers as well. She's also a goddess of healing. So damn. So you put these two together, what are they trying to tell you here? If Sith or Soot represents that balanced chaos, because he has dark and light principles, then she represents that goddess of the dead. So they telling you right there that chaos started in the primordial realm. Melanin started in the primordial realm. So it all started with that source melanin. So they the physical representatives of that source melanin, that source energy. You see what I'm saying? So they straight out of ancient Egypt. Well, straight out of ancient Nubia, really, because the ancient Egyptian gods were just transferred over from ancient Nubia. You see what I'm saying? That's why y'all don't really see many ancient Nubian gods like that, because they were all transferred over to ancient Egypt. And the stories was changed a little bit, but for the most part, yeah. The Nubian gods are the ancient Egyptian gods. They just telling a different story. You know, the original age of ancient Egypt and Nubia was the age of Atum, or Atum. You see what I'm saying? Atum, A-T-U-M, the self-begotten one, which is just another way of saying he was the original atom. You know, the original quantum atom. You see what I'm saying? On this side of the equation. And he had the Bin-Bin. The Bin-Bin, which what's the Bin-Bin? It's the nucleus of the atom, the soul of the atom. You see what I'm saying? And once he cracked the Bin-Bin open and they burst forth, what happened? Those other deities came out and the Ennead was produced. You see what I'm saying? The Ennead was produced. You also had an Ogdoad as well. See what I'm saying? Those primordial forces that already existed, primordial forces that existed in antimatter. See what I'm saying? So you got the antimatter, the original realm, before the original realm that was created, the original black print that was created before the quantum realm. So you got the realm of antimatter, then you got the quantum realm, then we get into the physical realm. You see what I'm saying? So the Ogdoad represents those boundless primordial principles while they were still in the realm of antimatter. You see what I'm saying? The second degree of darkness. You see what I'm saying? Because the first degree is source melanin, the primordial realm, the pleroma. See what I'm saying? The ancient realm, well, the ancient infinite God realm, supreme God realm that we all know so much about. So the Ogdoad had already existed before Atom. See what I'm saying? They was already up and kicking. Them 8 principles, they represents the boundlessness of the primordial. You see what I'm saying? Then you get into the Atum, which is the first atom, or hydrogen atom, however y'all like to say it. And the Bin-Bin was Eve, actually. The Bin-Bin was Eve, evolution. And so that energy burst forth, and you got the Ennead, the 8 guys of the Ennead, and they represented the quantum principles that would go on to produce this particular realm: sky, water, air, fire, storms, desert, forest, all the natural principles that you know so much about. You see what I'm saying? That you know so much about and heard so much about. You see what I'm saying? The underworld, which is the subconscious mind. Then you have the feminine forces, the masculine forces, the feminine receptive forces, and the masculine dynamic forces, all working in harmony with each other. Oh yeah. All that was created. That's basically what those creation stories tell you. The Ogdoad, then Atum, then the Ennead, and then from that point on, you get the birth of all the rest of your deities like Heru, Anubis, and everybody else. And Sut is the 7th of the 8, and Nephthys is the 8th of the 7. You see what I'm saying? So and they was the original. They was the last 2 of the original 4 pair. You see what I'm saying? Because I think the other original 3 was Shu and Tefnut, Nut and Geb, and Asar and Asit, or Osiris and Isis, that y'all also know them. You see what I'm saying? What's up, K-Heru? What's up, Sky? So that's what you got going on. We talk about this priesthood of Sith. So all Sith energy derives from the priesthood of Sith, the priesthood of Sut, and the priesthood of Nephthys. All that energy that they got going on in Star Wars is that they took it from off the walls of Omnibus. We gonna say Kemet, we gonna say Omnibus because that was his original city, and they collected all the teachers of Nephthys as well, because she got her own books from her own books and scrolls and everything from her particular priesthood as well. You know, so they took the scrolls and teachings of Sith, and they took the scrolls and teachings of Nebet Het or Seth or Nephthys and put them together, and they created this Sith lore or this Sith mythos. Now let's get into this. What's going on here with this Sith shit that they love to talk about in Star Wars? You know, they love this shit. You know. But I just want to let y'all know, historically, all that shit came from Nubia. This whole paradigm, this Star Wars energy came from Nubia. Then later on, ancient Egypt and Ethiopia and all them. But it all came from Nubia originally. You see what I'm saying? Atum, Asar, Osiris, Ptah, all that shit came from Nubia and ancient Egypt and Atlantis and Lemuria and so on and so forth. We go all the way back to how far I go back. You see what I'm saying? We can go back, you know, to Atlantis, to Lemuria, to Peniel or Pangaea. You see what I'm saying? We can go all the way back. These old sciences. So they took these old sciences, because they do have our works. They gave them to George Lucas. George Lucas studied that shit, and then he produced this mythos called Star Wars. See what I'm saying? So, later on, after he produced the first 6 movies, they went on to expand the story, or the EU as they call it. And so, they gave us the whole history of the Sith, or as much as they could for the storyline. So, they started off with a particular character by the name of King Adus. Now, Adus means Adam. How about that? Or Atum. So King Adus is literally the mythological rendition of Atum. What does he look like? What does he look like? Y'all ain't never seen him before. I'm quite sure y'all haven't. He looks like this. This is what he look like in the Book of Sith. Let me see here. There we go. That's him. That's King Adus. And his reign is known as the reign of the axe. Why is it the reign of the axe? What does the axe represent? Whenever you think of an axe, you think of something being chopped. Or, you see what I'm saying, chopped up or broken up, or chopped and broken up and brought forth. You see what I'm saying? So the axe energy means he chopped some energies up and brought it forth. That's all it means. He was a dual wielding badass for the most part, and they call it the reign of the axe. And the Sith were pretty much tribal, and he brought them all together as one particular nation or empire. So he produced the Sith Empire. You see what I'm saying? Before that, they were just tribes doing their own thing, but he brought them all together as one Sith Empire. You see what I'm saying? And they said the reign of the axe lasted 3 centuries, which we already know that's about 30,000 years in our timeline. You see what I'm saying? So what's going on here with this energy? So they lived on a planet called Korriban. Now, Korriban is literally a rendition of Nubia. Like, no bullshit. Let me show y'all what some of the Korriban look like. This some of the halls. This is one of the halls. This is literally shit that they put in the book, a Mythos. You see what I'm saying? Can y'all see it properly? Okay, this is literally shit they put in the Mythos. You see what I'm saying? To the left there is scrolls. You see what I'm saying? Them scrolls. You know, Sith magic. We're going to get into that later on. Let's see here. What else they had? Let's see. Now, the Sith species, because it was a species before it was a spiritual order. You see what I'm saying? It was a species before it was a spiritual order. Right? So, this is what the Sith species look like. They were red, actually. They look like this. They were some fine motherfuckers. Don't get it twisted. And they were masters of the dark side of the Force, or they was masters of their melanin. You see what I'm saying? They was masters of their melanin. You go another picture. another goddess. You know what I'm saying? And they had a red hue to them. Sound familiar? They had a red copper tone hue to them. And they was warriors and mystics, right? Let's see here. We go another one wielding some lightsabers. Or dark sabers in this case. You go a homie. Yeah, this you, alright. Motherfuckers swole heads. Niggas got swole heads to this day. You see what I'm saying? And red eyes and yellow eyes. This ain't nothing new. Our eyes always been different colors. Brown, red, yellow, blue, green, orange. That shit ain't started with the white boy. They been around. Unlike what they like to portray, you know. You know, it's always been around. Colored eyes always been around. You know, gray, silver, green, especially green and blue. Shit, green and blue and hazel, all of them been around. Hell, that was our shit there. Let's see, who go another one. What's up, Blake? And go another Sith. What's up? Uh-oh. We go to Sith species. You know. I'm gonna show y'all some of the architecture. Let y'all know it's us. Yeah, how they dress should let you know is us. Look at how he dressed. Look at the gold-plated arm. We were known as the children of gold, or the children, or gods. You see what I'm saying? We walked around with gold-plated arm on. We just walked. The gold was just regular to us. You see what I'm saying? Go one of the kids. Yeah. Here we go. Architecture. A Sith temple. Fucking pyramid. Fucking pyramid, y'all. Tell me this ain't us. Tell me this ain't us. Tell me this ain't us. These Cabal elites got y'all thinking that this shit started with them. Just like the Emperor did in Asia. He destroyed all the ancient teachings before him. And history started with his dumb ass. So this ain't nothing new. So they locked up all our teachings, and then they had history start with them. And they only been here for like 2,000 to 6,000 years. So yeah, check this out. Look at the monuments. Now, what other race you know that built monuments like that to ourselves? You see what I'm saying? Never been done again. Never been done again. You go to planet Korriban, ancient Nubia. And the Sith. You see what I'm saying? That rocking red lightsaber. That's the spiritual Sith that came later on down the road. And it says here, although the Sith species were experienced builders of monumental architecture, they certainly benefited from the instruction of the Sith Lords. You see, they say a Sith temple was a structure built by or dedicated to any of the various incarnations of the Sith, as well as their various allies. Such temples stood on Thule, Krant, Gades, and countless other worlds with some association to the Sith. So they built temples, monuments, and statues to themselves. What other group of beings on this planet have y'all known that done this? Us. You see what I'm saying? This is what we got. This is what we talking about. This is what we talking about here. So according to today's stories, it started with King Adus and or Atum, and you know he went to war with a group of beings called the Rakatan Empire. Now the Rakatan Empire, the Archons, the Archonic Republic. You know, before they called themselves the Archonic Republic, they was them in another form. They went to war with us, which is the first war in heaven as you have heard of, and we kicked their asses. Interestingly enough, before they fought the Sith, they fought the Jedi on Titan, which Titan was ancient Earth, ancient Mother Earth. You see what I'm saying? Korriban is ancient Nubia, which is on Earth, but you know they like to separate the two for some fucking reason. You know they using the planets, they just playing around with our sciences here, but both Titan and Korriban are one and the same. And I find it interesting that these motherfucking Jedi didn't know who the Sith was. But in the original Jedi order, the Sith species was part of the order. You see what I'm saying? They was doing the same shit. Cause the Thoyu, or the Force, these Thoyos, these other pyramids came and collected species from all around the cosmos to participate in the earthly experiment. You see what I'm saying? That's why you have multiple races of being in your DNA. See what I'm saying? You Anunnaki, shit, Arcturian, Pleiadian, hey, all the motherfuckers is in your DNA. Nibiru, all of them, all across the cosmos. Shit, they tell you it's only 22 strands. Actually, it's about 500 to 1 million strands. How about that? Shit, of DNA inside you. Cause motherfucking Earth been around for a long fucking time. 22 strands, that's like the last 100,000 years. What about the first trillions and trillions of years of Mother Earth? And all the inbreeding in. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? What about all those other strands that we already had before these motherfuckers got here and start fucking shit up? See what I'm saying? You got to use your logic here. So you got. I noticed I started with the number 500. Why I started with the number 500? Because 5 is a portal. 500 is when you consider royalty, gods, divine royalty in the cosmos, when you have at least 500 strands of encoded DNA in your system. 500 to 1 million, oh, you're a bad motherfucker. You're a bad motherfucker. They're 5 to 1. You see what I'm saying? They're 5 to 10. So ratio is a mathematical probability to have all this genetic information inside of you that spans trillions of years. You royalty, divine royalty. 76 trillion years, and that's just a numerical number. Here, it go back further than 76. That's what we know. That's recorded. That's recorded history. God damn it. And remember, some of your DNA been destroyed. So that's what's already inside of you. They don't talk about the shit that's been destroyed, the DEA. They don't want to talk about, or your junk DNA, as they call it. They don't even want to talk about that. So yeah, you've been around. So I find interesting they create a war. There's a civil war that happened in the Jedi Order called the Great Schism, that they call it. You see what I'm saying? The Great Schism. In the Jedi Order, there's a civil war in they shit, and they broke apart, and some of these other Jedi left, and they so-called discovered the Sith Empire. So my question to them is, what happened to the original Sith that was part of the Jedi Order in the first place? See what I'm saying? You gotta ask these questions. You know, they just fucking around with this shit, man. They just throwing this shit around. Plot holes every fucking well. You see what I'm saying? Plot holes every fucking well. You created an order which your main focus is the Jedi. You put the Sith species in there, but all of a sudden y'all don't know who the fuck the Sith are all of a sudden. See what I'm saying? Just illogical shit. Now, these so-called Jedi go and to find correspond in lost space, or outer space as they call it. You know, it's like the lost sectors of space that the Republic don't know of. And they run across this Sith species, or rediscover the Sith species on Korriban. Now they get here, and even though they was already masters of the dark side, they weren't masters of the kinetic arts. You see what I'm saying? The kinetic arts is like the warrior shit, the mystical chi abilities that you see in Star Wars. Force choke, telekinesis, elemental manipulation, force push, all that cool ass shit, right? So that's what makes up the kinetic arts. You see what I'm saying? So it's pretty much a family of abilities, families of abilities that's up under this one big umbrella, right? Which is known as the kinetic arts. So, because they was when they got here, the Sith were practitioners of Sith magic and Sith alchemy, but they weren't practitioners of the kinetic arts, according to them. You see what I'm saying? So these Sith species was just, mind their own fucking business for the most part. They weren't studying no fucking Republic. Till these beings came in, conquered them, and started programming them with the desire to go to war with the Republic. And this is what we pick up. This is what we pick up with what's going on here. This is why I get into a few videos for y'all. You see what I'm saying? To show y'all what the fuck is going on around here. And I'm gonna break this shit down so y'all can understand what's happening here. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Let's see here. Here we go.
Few fanfictions that is or her ancestry into antiquity. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Star Wars Theory, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed the last few fanfiction. In this video, we're going to go over something that not too many of us know about, and that is the Sith purebloods. Where did Sith come from? Which planet did they come from? And what were they before they were the known Sith? Let's begin. The Sith are well known throughout the galaxy, but as Obi-Wan explained to us, the old Empire is many thousands of years old. There were hundreds of generations before the short 60-year span of movies that we've seen focusing on the Skywalkers. Let's go back in time and explore the Sith pureblood race. What I believe is the first Siths to ever be discovered. 3,000 years ago, there was a great war called the Second Great Schism. In this war, there was a battle. This battle involved Dark Jedi. Now, these were not your typical Jedi. These were not even gray Jedi, for that matter. Dark Jedi, which can be covered in another video, were basically Sith who were rogue. They didn't belong to any ideology or organization. These Dark Jedi ran from the Republic after the war, and upon their escape they came across a planet called Korriban, the home planet of the original Sith species. They were surprised to find that the comparatively primitive species displayed knowledge of the dark side that the Jedi themselves had never encountered. These Dark Jedi decided to take the Sith and their knowledge from them. Though the Korriban natives struck back in an attempt to protect their dark side secrets and home world, they were ultimately outmatched by the superior training and technology of the invaders. The Sith were enslaved by their Dark Jedi overlords. Over hundreds of generations, the two groups intermingled and mixed offspring were produced. The Dark Jedi found that Sith society and culture suited their philosophy well. Before long, the elite ruling class of Korriban consisted almost entirely of hybridized offspring of the Dark Jedi and the High Priests of the Sith. This hybridization resulted in an ambitious, ruthless race with a natural strength in the Force. Native to their homeworld, one of their delicacies was blood soup. Another one of their ceremonial rituals was sacrificing live sentient beings, or animals, to the Sith deities and use of ancient and arcane alchemy and magic. For the Sith, war and violence were just as much a part of the natural order of their life as peace and serenity were for the Jedi. Their social order was very rigid, and while many rose to the title of Sith Lord, only one, King Addis, attained the position of monarch. Another aspect of Sith culture was the creation of Sith holocrons. This recorded knowledge passed down through generations, originating from their first contact with the Rakata of the Infinite Empire. Genetically speaking, the term pureblood is an incorrect term, as all modern Sith are hybrids now, a product of the unions between the Dark Jedi and the original Sith race. However, the term is useful in distinguishing those who carry enough of the blood of the ancient race to still be evident in their features. The offspring tended to exhibit the physical characteristics of their Sith parentage, such as red skin, yellow eyes, bony protrusions on the face or the head, and fleshy tendrils dangling from the cheeks and chin. For a brief time, Sith blood was seen as a sign of weakness. But the modern empire believes purity of heritage carries the strength of the Force. Genetically speaking, true pureblood Sith are virtually extinct, but red skin is still the mark of a Force user who can trace his or her ancestry into antiquity. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Star Wars.
Now, of course, some of this they just mixed in there. You know, they mixed some of their bullshit into our storyline, like, you know, them blood sacrificing humans and all that other crazy shit. They mixed some of that into our storyline. You see what I'm saying? But you know, they said that the Mayans were sacrificing humans. No, they were not. You know, and the Aztecs were sacrificing humans. No, they were not. That's their story telling us that these motherfuckers were blood sacrifice. So that was our excuse to wipe them out. You see what I'm saying? You know. So what you got going on here with this Sith pureblood race, as they said? What happened was these colonizers came and conquered the people, and then taught them their fucked up ways, and they began to distort their mentalities, because they was just chilling before them. They didn't even know who the fuck they was. So they came in, conquered them, and taught them they fucked up ways, right? And so they went to war with who? The Republic, which was the original race of beings they came from. And so they taught them to go to war with the Republic, who were this archonic group of beings, and they almost beat them. Until guess what happened? Infighting. Oh yes. You know, this is when we get into them dirty Moors. You see what I'm saying? Them dirty Moors. You know, this is our story, but they just twisting it for their own agenda because they got to make the dark side look horrifying. You see what I'm saying? They got to make the dark side look horrifying. So these dirty Moors was working for them, and when we was almost about to whoop these motherfuckers' ass, these dirty Moors turned on us, and whoever else was working with them, you know, they turned on us and started working with them and for them. You see what I'm saying? Actually, the white race was working for the dirty Moors. Y'all, most of you don't know that the dirty Moors weren't working for them. They was working for the dirty Moors, and they mixed with the white race and they bleached out their skin. You see what I'm saying? For the coming age, you know, because they could do that in this Piscean energy, in their Piscean energy. So, you know, these Sith, you know, they listened to these motherfuckers and it drove them mad for the most part. It drove them mad. Listening to these foreign doctrine drove them crazy. You see what I'm saying? And so infighting ensued, and they started killing off each other, and the enemy came in and wiped them out, just like we did with the Incas. You know, they was killing off each other, you know, infighting, and the Incas and the conquistadors just came in and wiped them out. You see what I'm saying? Took advantage of that. So this is an age-old story of infighting. You see what I'm saying? The Sith actually will whoop the Jedi any day of the week. Of course, obviously, we see that. Hell, even to this day, even without our high level of powers, the average black man whooped the shit out of these motherfuckers. You see what I'm saying? Some of these cabal elites came through here with their bullshit. The average black man whooped the shit out of them. You see what I'm saying? So this is what you got going on. These red tone, copper tone beings who were minding their own fucking business until these fucking beings came in. These invaders came to their planet. You know, these corrupted Jedi. Who are the Jedi? You know, they got this thing going on. You know, that they love to do. They always portray the Sith with red lightsabers and the Jedi with green, blue. You know, it's a chakra thing, right? Why they do this? Well, the Sith are us now. Because the red ray represents how the melanated man, woman, and child, and the indigenous beings across this planet are living in a state of survival. All the fucking time. You see what I'm saying? All the fucking time we're living in a state of survival. Well, they show you in Star Wars that these people, they say that the dark side corrodes your skin. No, the dark side doesn't corrode your skin. Living in a state of survival and using your melanin to only just survive, only using their root force, their root chakra, and not using your other 6 chakras to assist you is what is burning out your adrenal glands, which is what the root chakra corresponds to, your adrenal glands. And burning out your adrenal glands causes you to age quicker and corrode quicker. So you see what I'm saying? That's what we talking about. That's why the Sith have mostly red lightsabers. Some of them have orange and purple, you know. Someone who get it, someone who find their balance or whatever, you know, or a lot of us starseeds who figure it out, we are seeing out of just the root force and rise up to the crown. You see what I'm saying? But very few of us figure that out because of the state of survival, the constant state of survival that we're in. All the fucking time. Day in and day out. What you doing? You gotta pay bills. You gotta do this. You gotta do that. You gotta go here, to and fro. Always wasting your energy and burning yourself out. And what's worse, they tricked you into liking this shit. Liking their way of life. And also what's worse, if, like, say for example, a melanated starseed like myself walk up to you and tell you this shit fucked up, you already programmed to tell me hell to the motherfucking no. We want this system to continue just the way it is. You see what I'm saying? I'm doing just fine with the life I have. That's how they get you. That's how they get you. Your mentality. You see what I'm saying? So the average black person, the average melanated being, and the average indigenous being on the planet is literally vibrating on their root chakra. That's why the Sith mainly wield red rays. Whereas the Jedi, the soothsayers, the Cabal soothsayers and occultists and wizards and priests and imams and all these other motherfuckers, they wield green, blue, and purple lightsabers, because they are living great lives for the most part. So they have time to tap into their upper chakras. You see what I'm saying? The Sith, or the way we live, the lifestyle we live, we don't have time. The average motherfucker work 8, 10, 12, 14. Hey, I heard now niggas is working 16-hour shifts. You see what I'm saying? It's up to 16-hour shifts. And depending on what you're doing, sometimes you work 2 whole weeks straight, and then you find it off 2 weeks. You see what I'm saying? So they got you vibrating on your root chakra as much as possible. You don't have time to tap into the other 6 chakras. You see what I'm saying? So that's what you got going on. So these soothsayers, these Cabal occultists, these wizards, and all these other fucking Freemasons and all these other motherfuckers, they good. They vibrated. They have time to tap into the other chakras. You see what I'm saying? That's why most of them are wielding green, blue, and purple. They have time to sit down and pray. They have hours on hours of the day to sit down and meditate and practice their abilities and do this and do that. That's why they are portrayed with these high frequencies, whereas the Sith are only usually portrayed with their root chakra. You see what I'm saying? And that's why the Jedi, they have the time to get enlightened and preserve their bodies a lot more than the average black person. Even the spiritual melanated person on the planet, they catch hell because the motherfucking ways of the world drag them from their crown back down to the root chakra. You see what I'm saying? Like they showed you in the movie Pursuit of Happiness. What Will Smith would love to be in his crown, love to be in his imagination, love to dream, love to do all these things, but the ways of the world would do what? Drag his ass back down to his root chakra. You see what I'm saying? Dragging right back down to this motherfucker. He had to deal with that. So that's what you got going on here. That's what you got going on here. That's why Bang told you the Force is not fire, the Force is venom. Because when you let these motherfuckers who only deal with fire, this is in the Gnostic teachers, don't let those who have just fire, don't let those who only fuck with their werewolf energy, their vampire energy, their fucking their ghoul energy, don't let those rule you, because if they rule you, then you gonna suffer. Know the Force is venomous. Concentrate your energies. Conserve your energies as much as possible. Pick jobs that won't constantly burn you out. You see what I'm saying? Because they got you working jobs that burn you out on a constant basis. You see what I'm saying? Hey, you tired as fuck. Most people be like, oh, they doing all this work, and then they back start hurt because their adrenal glands is burnt out. That's why they back hurt. See what I'm saying? They burnt out their adrenal glands. I seen my mama do it. I seen my grandmama do it. I seen all of them do it. They run around all day, never resting because they don't know how to rest, because they programmed to just work. They worker bees. You see what I'm saying? They just programmed to go to and fro. They living off their monkey mind. So they never rest until they back start hurting because they done burnt out their adrenal glands. You see what I'm saying? They burnt out, they done overused their root force. You see what I'm saying? And so now they got that, now they got to go fucking collapse in the bed for 12, 15 hours to regenerate. And then they get up the next day and do the same exact shit. You see what I'm saying? That's what you got going on. You see the Sith with these red lightsabers, and you see these fucking Cabal occultists with these green, blue, and purple lightsabers. They taking the spirit. They got all the time in the world to study the spiritual teachings. You see what I'm saying? They got all the time in the world. And they show you that Mace Windu, who was the champion of the Jedi Order, with the purple lightsaber, but he was still, and he had found balance between dark and light or whatever, but he was still affiliated with these Cabal occultists. They represent them black archons who working for the order, who working for the system. They got the most powerful melanin, so they got the opportunity to, fuck you up the most. You see what I'm saying? The boule and all these motherfuckers. You see what I'm saying? That's what they showing you. He represented that boule-ish energy. And so you got a Darth Vader who came along, fucking shit up. That James Earl Jones energy, and now he taboo. But Mace Windu is glorified. Pay attention here. But they both represent the Dark Father. See what I'm saying? Now, the Dark Father only matters when you working for us. That's only when it's glorified, when you working for us, the cabal. But when you working against us like Darth Vader did, when he wiped out the fucking, him and Sidious wiped out the Republic. Darth Vader means what? Darth Father. Darth Sidious means to think, to ponder, to sit down and figure out a way out this shit. Basically. So the Galactic Empire absorbed the Republic and fucking the Separatist movement. The Separatists was that old Moorish energy. You see what I'm saying? You know, with Count Dooku running it. You know, that old Moorish energy. The Euro Moors, the Moorish Empire. That's what the Separatists represented. So you got these, so the Sith, the revenge of the Sith, they came for their ass. You see what I'm saying? So, and they whooped the shit out of the Jedi finally. You know, previously, his previous predecessor, you know, Sidion's previous predecessor, Lord Vitiate, they almost whooped that ass. You see what I'm saying? Until they decided to sit on a peace treaty, and the Sith got half the galaxy. So they showing you. And before that, you know, before Lord Vitiate, you have King Adus. You see what I'm saying? King Adus, who was the original emperor. But Lord Vitiate, after the Sith lost the first time, they came back with a vengeance and whooped that ass the second time. But then, once again, infighting destroyed the Sith completely this time. And Darth Bane came and resurrected it. The Force is not fire, the Force is venom. We gonna concentrate our energies now. We gonna focus our energy, which is what most Starseeds do now. They conserve their energy. They didn't figure it out. Now we need to concentrate our energies into one vessel. Concentrate the Force inside us. Start running around dealing with this bullshit all the time. Sit down, focus your energies, absorb it, keep it stored up as much as possible. Even with your sexual acts, go somewhere, do some qigong, recharge that shit. Be good, you know. Keep your energies, keep your vibrations as high as possible at this point. So, you know, we deal with that Darth Bane doctrine. The Force is venom. You see what I'm saying? The Force is venom. You know, concentrate your shit, condense it. You know, mold it into something new. You know, because if you let the society, you let society and the cabal dictate what you gonna do, you're gonna always be in a state of fire, a state of ongoing perpetual video game reality life. You see what I'm saying? Where you never have a break. They don't want you to have breaks. They hate that they had to shut this shit down and give you a month off. They can't stand that shit. They losing their damn minds. They had to shut that shit down and give you a break. You see what I'm saying? So that's what we talking about when we talk about the Sith. You know, a lot of people ask about these red lights. Say, why the Sith? You know, most people have figured out that the Sith are us. You see what I'm saying? For the most part, because the Sith derives from the priesthood of Sith. But they trying to figure out why the Sith always got red lightsabers. The Sith reflecting you now. You see what I'm saying? You always in a state of survival. You see what I'm saying? The Starseeds, most Starseeds are in a state of survival. Even if they having a good life, they always got that fear in the back of their mind that this shit could be taken away from me at any given moment. Because the economy can crash. Fucking biological, chemical warfare with this quarantine, so-called quarantine anyway. You see what I'm saying? It's always in the back of your mind because they can fuck this shit up and you can lose your way of life. So you never happy. That's why I always said that your happiness is hunted down here. That's what I meant by that. You see what I'm saying? I said in some other lectures. A lot of people that blew their mind, they was trying to see what I meant by that. That's what I mean. You always in a constant state of survival, even if you're doing well in this society. You know, you always fucked up in this society, even if you're doing well. So, cause it's always that hunting, like this shit can fall apart or collapse at any given moment, and I'm going to suffer for the collapse. So that's what you got going on here. That's what you got going on. What's up, Kendrick? What's up, Sarah? So that's what we mean by the red lightsabers versus the blue lightsabers. Them fucking soothsayers. They got it good. They get paid to fuck you up. Them Shaolin monks and them goddamn them Arab imams and them goddamn Kabbalah cultists in Europe and the Freemasons over here. And, you know, all the motherfuckers get paid to fuck you up. You see what I'm saying? Fraternity of Afrocentricity. That shit, all them other motherfuckers in New York run. Yeah, they get paid to fuck you up and keep you on a certain level of mind. They never want you to surpass separatism. You see what I'm saying? The philosophy of separatism. They want you to stay divided in your mind. You see what I'm saying? In your heart, in your soul. You see what I'm saying? They never want you to gain a unified, holistic mindset. You know, the androgynous state of mind, as the occultist said. They never want you to get there. You see what I'm saying? They never want you to have that concept. And this is what the Sith is all about. Sith actually means life. But what are you going to do with that life? Are you going to continue to live how the Cabal wants you to live, the way of fire? Or are you going to finally take your power back and live how you supposed to live, the way of Venom? What Venom showed y'all in the movie. They goddamn fuck this system. Do whatever you need to do to survive and vibrate high on your path. You see what I'm saying? Venom showed you that in his movie. Whereas in their movies, that the ones designed to control you, it's always what? It's always this particular shit here. Oh yeah, we need you to do this. We need you to do that. Captain America tried to play by the rules. The government still came to see him. Nah, nigga, you gotta work for us. If you don't work for us, then you gonna suffer. Captain America said, then I'm out there in peace. You see what I'm saying? He probably did one of the realest shits in the movie. Him and a lot of other superheroes were like, nope. Nope. Y'all, we don't operate in the physical. We operate in the force. You see what I'm saying? And so that's what they try to get you to do. They try to lock you down. So those Cabal soothsayers, those Republic Jedi, that's what I call them, those Archonic Republic Jedi that you see in Star Wars are the ones who are working against you. They're using their spells, they chants. The priests in the fucking Vatican using their chants. They're Cabal occultists around the area using their spells. They fucking emails using whatever the fuck they use. Shit, they slave trade here. How about that? Goddamn monks, all them motherfuckers, the scientists, all these niggas is working against you to keep you enslaved. That's why you having such a hard time down here. The whole system is designed to keep you locked down. Now, how do you beat the system? Ain't that the $1 million question? How you beat this shit? A wise assassin by the name of Hitman 47 in his second movie told you how to beat this shit. One of the apprentice he was training in the movie asked him a very powerful question. She said, how do you beat an overwhelming force that's designed to work against you at all times? And he said one of the most powerful things I've heard in the movie, he said, you play the odds and do the unexpected. You see what I'm saying? Nothing, take nothing for granted down here. You see what I'm saying? You are everything and everyone. So, by that law, take nothing and no one for granted. Remember that you God first. And by that law, since you're a God first, always put your soul first and body second. You see what I'm saying? There we go. Yes, always put your soul first and body second. You know? And finally, always in your works of dealings, apply element of chaos. So when shit pop off, when shit go down, they'll never see you coming. So that's basically what he was teaching her in the movie. See, there's assassin teachers, but they true teachers as far as overcoming the ways of this system. Cause if you let this system fucking shut you down, it will. You know, cause the ladies got kids, the homies got kids now. You gotta look out for them. They teach you to hate your kids now. You see what I'm saying? At first they took them from you, then they gave them back to you, knowing that you weren't mentally prepared to deal with that. So now what they want to do is create hatred, create a wedge between you and your kids, like they told you in the Book of Revelation. The kids and the parents will be distant; they will be divided. So that's what they try to do here. So now they gave you back your kids. So they're knowing that you don't have anything for them for real because you ain't never had to take care of them because you send them out to the schools. So they know this. So now they trying to see, is you going to adapt? Is it a science experiment? Is they going to adapt? If they not going to adapt, what? Will they adapt? Then we going to throw their ass back into the system. But if they don't adapt, then they going to self-destruct. So it's a win-win for us. You see what I'm saying? It's a win-win. So that's what they got going on here. That's what they got going on when we talk about the Book of Sith. You see what I'm saying? The Sith life, the Sith way of life. You see what I'm saying? Sith just mean life. Jedi mean balance. Sith have a different way of doing things, different rebirth. So that's what they portraying to you in Star Wars. You see what I'm saying? The Sith are actually the ones that's right. And that's what Darth Vader was trying to tell Luke. Like, nah, Luke, why the fuck you trying to rebuild a republic? You see what I'm saying? The republic was enslaving you. Why would you want to go back to the republic when they were enslaving you? At least the Empire, they talk shit about the Empire. The Empire is mostly clones. The Republic sent out regular people most of the time to fight. You see what I'm saying? They sent out regular people to fight. But fucking, but goddamn, the Empire sent out clones. You see what I'm saying? So this is what you got going on with the Sith history and then the Sith mythos. It's all one thing. You know, they just telling how they came in and they ran across this group of people. This group of people became real powerful, even though they started talking shit to them, tried to conquer them or whatever. They didn't conquer you the first time. You kicked their asses the first time. But they still had a few people around, you know, that they kept in who they used the love program, you know, to get in cahoots with you, you know, and, you know, just sit around and enjoy and have babies with them and, you know, pacify them, you know. So then they don't tell you in Star Wars they wiped out the Sith species. Oh yeah, let me show you that. Let me show you how they came in. When the Sith lost the war with them, they tell you what they did afterwards. Let me show you that one. Let's see. The most evil thing the Jedi did, the Sith Holocaust.
The Jedi were regarded among many to be peacekeepers who sought to protect the galaxy from all kinds of evil. But there were moments across the Jedi's long history that may muddle this accepted notion, including what may be the most evil thing they ever committed, the Sith Holocaust. And when we say Sith, we aren't exclusively talking about the Sith Order and those who harbored the dark side powers and the titles of Lord and Emperor. We are talking about the entire Sith species, which consisted of billions of innocents. So what led the Jedi to commit such a heinous act? It began with the Great Hyperspace War, the first conflict between the Galactic Republic and the original Sith Empire. The war took place around 5,000 years before the Clone Wars. The Sith Empire was in a way created by the Jedi long ago, when they exiled a group of their own who they considered to be too dangerous. Those exiled were known as Dark Jedi, who during their exile came across the Sith homeworld of Korriban. The Dark Jedi made contact with these red-skinned people and noticed that they were strongly connected to the Force, particularly the dark side. So the Dark Jedi combined their knowledge of the Force with the Sith magic practiced by the Sith people to develop strong, unnatural Force abilities that would become a staple to future Sith Lords. Many years had passed, and the original Dark Jedi that had come to Korriban had died off, leaving only their Force knowledge to the Sith people who used it to build up an empire within their isolated corner of the galaxy in the Outer Rim. One day, a pair of Republic deep space explorers accidentally landed on Korriban and made contact with the Sith. They were immediately imprisoned, as the Sith believed they were spies who were from a government that was preparing to attack them. This paranoia of the Sith possibly stemmed from the past of when the Infinite Empire, ruled by the Rakata, attempted to invade Korriban by at first appearing as friends. The historic Rakadan attacked and devastated Korriban, so the Sith weren't taking any chances this time, possibly hoping to not be the victims of another surprise attack, as well as wishing to expand their own empire and conquer new worlds. The Sith Empire located the Galactic Republic and attacked some of its most important planets, including Coruscant, thus marked the beginning of the Great Hyperspace War. The Sith Empire made quick gains in the war, but ultimately lost when infighting occurred within its own borders. This infighting within the Sith Empire allowed the Republic to counterattack and effectively fight back the Sith to their own territory, and disable their ability to launch any more offensive attacks on Republic worlds. In other words, the Sith no longer posed a threat to the Republic, but some within the Republic felt that wasn't enough, and that the already defeated Sith Empire needed to be punished even more for starting what might have been the most devastating war the Republic had fought in its history at that point. So the Supreme Chancellor Nepoltimo gave the order to commit genocide upon all worlds within the Sith Empire's borders. This included wiping out the entire Sith species, along with all others who so happened to live among the Empire's borders. The Jedi followed through with this order and spearheaded the genocides alongside with Republic forces. The Jedi probably thought that the dark side embedded Sith species were too dangerous to be left alive, and that by killing them all would eliminate the threat of them attacking again. Billions of defenseless beings were slaughtered as a result. This event became known as the Sith Holocaust in galactic history, and it was considered to be one of the biggest mistakes ever committed by the Jedi by later members of the Order. But these genocides were not successful, as a few groups of Sith and other people that were among them survived and escaped into uncharted deep space. They remained there, hidden from the Republic. The survivors spent the next 1,300 years building a new empire under the leadership of a Sith Emperor who went by the name of Vitiate, who prepared his people to one day exact revenge on all those who killed their ancestors. When the time came, the Sith returned once more to the galaxy and reclaimed their lost world of Korriban, waged war on the Republic, and sacked the Jedi Temple. The returned Sith became a force to be feared once again, as they forced the Old Republic to submit to their demands through the Treaty of Coruscant, which allowed the Sith to control half of the known galaxy with ultimate authority. Thanks for watching this episode of The Lore Master. Be sure to subscribe for more Star...
So there y'all go. The Sith Holocaust, which is the indigenous Holocaust of the melanated beings on the planet. You see what I'm saying? The melanated Holocaust. You see what I'm saying? Of our people. You know, which happened for a better part of 2,000 years. Just went across the planet, murdering, pillaging, and plundering. Because they had a war with them, you know, a great hyperspace war, the second war in heaven. They had with Archons, you know, and various other beings, you know, rogue beings all across the galaxy that they got together to gang up on us because we were very powerful people. And we was whooping their ass, and we was known for our dark magics, or melanin arts, you see what I'm saying? Or Sith arts, as they call them today. We were known for being able to activate black, turn our eyes black, and go into this dark warrior mode and fuck some shit up with our melanin and force, our dark force. See what I'm saying? We was known for those abilities. And so they took those abilities and wrote out this group of beings called the Sith, which actually has some truth in history because they derive from the priesthood of Sith or Sith. You see what I'm saying? So this is not a mythos. This is actually a retelling of your story. Of course, they manipulated the shit and said that the Republic started the war. No, the Republic didn't start. The Sith started the war. No, the Sith did start the war. The Republic started the war when they motherfucking dark Jedi goons came in and started fucking shit up the first time. You see what I'm saying? They dark Jedi goons came into the picture and started fucking some shit up, right? So when they dark Jedi goons came in and started mixing in and melding in, you know, that started the first war in heaven. Hell, what the fuck they talking about? So the Sith came back with retaliation. That was a retaliation for what the dark Jedi did. They lost their war, you know, and then they came back again for a second round after they rebuilt themselves and whooped that ass. And then they lost the war again due to infighting. Now, you got the Revenge of the Sith where they take down the Jedi Order for real, which is what you're seeing now. The Revenge of the Sith is actually happening as we speak. We the Sith, the Starseeds, and we're taking our revengeance on them. And they, the Jedi Order of Soothsayers, who was working against us all this time, is falling. You see what I'm saying? The empire is falling, crumbling as we speak before our eyes. And so the only thing they could do was quarantine us. They didn't have a choice, because if we had continued the way we was going, this shit was gonna be destroyed. You see what I'm saying? So they tried to slow it down. Because to slow us down means they slow it down time. That's why the days feel longer now. You see what I'm saying? Y'all notice the days feel longer now? Whereas when everybody was up and doing their thing, the days was moving like this. They was moving at a constant speed. You know, days went by like this. That's because they slowing down the realm to slow this shit down so that they can buy themselves some time to get their shit together. What's up, Sherry? What's up, Gary? So yeah, so this is what you got going on here. This is what you got going on. We talk about Sith history. You know, we talking about the Sith history, how it is in a historical sense, and how it is in the physical sense. You know, I'm gonna leave y'all with this parable here that I wrote out. I call it the parable of the curious Asian, and I'm pretty much wrote out after this. Once upon a time, there was an Asian who walks up to me while I was meditating in the park, and the Asian asked a question. He said, "Why don't most African Americans believe in the chi?" And I said, it's not that we don't believe in the chi, we just don't call it chi. We call it melanin. You see what I'm saying? Melanin to us is the force, dark force, and soul force all wrapped into one. Divinity all wrapped into one. So we always called it melanin. He was like, so what is melanin? Melanin is that dark jazzy intelligence that empowers all of this. And so his eyes got wide because that sounded exactly like the concept of Taoism. You see what I'm saying? But he don't know, he don't know that Taoism was started by a black man named Lao Tzu that was walking around this bitch around 3500 BC. He don't know that. See what I'm saying? He took all the shamanic Asian arts, and put them into a system, which now today y'all know is Taoism or Taoism. See what I'm saying? So yes, melanin, you know. You see what I'm saying? That's what it was. So he was like, okay, so all this melanin, what does it do? I told him, melanin fuels all of existence. So melanin is the reason why you even living, because melanin also means life, true life. Because without that dark jazzy intelligence giving you that information to even exist, you wouldn't be here. So there you go. Y'all, we also call it carbon on the periodic table, but carbon is a fake word for real. It's actually carbon. You see what I'm saying? K-A''B-O-N. And it means your connection to the force. It represents the force flowing through your bones and inside your body. You see what I'm saying? So that's what carbon means. It represents that supreme force flowing through your physical body, your physical bones, your inner matter. You see what I'm saying? So that's what carbon is. You see what I'm saying? That chemical, that dark black chemical inside of you that everyone has. You see what I'm saying? Inside of us. And it's mostly concentrated in melanated beings. Then I told him we have other concepts like Heka, which equals bound, which means magic or the boundless force. Because He and Ka, He is actually an ancient Egyptian primordial deity that means boundless. You see what I'm saying? The boundless force. You see what I'm saying? The boundless energy that has no limitations. You see what I'm saying? So Heka means boundless force or magic. Then you have Warit Heka, which is the personification or the actions or visible effects of your magic. You see what I'm saying? And they married and holding matrimony. You see what I'm saying? So then you have Hekaba, which is magical soul. And you see what I'm saying? This is our history. You see what I'm saying? This is our science that most people don't know about because they take it as a joke, because they take us as a joke. So the Asian was like, damn, well, I never looked at it like that. Respect. So now he understands where we coming from when we said such things as melanin. You see what I'm saying? Melanin has weight. You see what I'm saying? Melanin has weight. Dr. Richard King wasn't lying when he said it's the chemical key to life. You see what I'm saying? So there y'all go. The parable of the curious Asian is what I called it. So there y'all go. When we talking about Sith history, lore, legacies, legends, mythologies, and spiritual sciences. What's up, Cosmic Balance? This is what you're talking about here. This is what you're talking about. You are these beings, these dark, horrific beings that they always write about. They scared of you. You're not scared of them. Most people not scared of them, especially over here in North America. We damn sure ain't scared of them. Shit. But they know we not scared of us. But they don't want to piss us off either. So they create laws and shit, catalysts to force us to make us think we're committing criminal activities. You see what I'm saying? That's the objective. To Jedi mind trick us into thinking we're committing criminal activities up under their law that they falsely created. They're not using universal laws. They're using corrupt archonic laws that they created to keep us locked down. You see what I'm saying? So there y'all go. So that pretty much concludes Sith history and lore or mythos. You see what I'm saying? So any questions? Any questions? Hope this helped. You know, hope this helped. Any questions? There you go, Blade. We need to come together and kill the system that is trying to kill us, have enslaved us to their system of enslavement and control. Yep. There we go. DEA? Oh, deoxyelectroalkali. That's what you're talking about, Shaw. Yeah, you ain't gonna find much information, but they just label it junk DNA. You see what I'm saying? If you want to find information on it, they don't call it DEA, they call it junk DNA. But his real name is DEA, deoxyelectroalkali, or alkaline. You see what I'm saying? But they just simply call it junk DNA to make you think that it's just, you know, some garbage shit that's inside of you, which makes no fucking sense at all. No, junk DNA or DEA is actually, and REA, is actually your true spiritual genetic intelligence that they fucking shut down and destroyed, and now it has rebuilt itself, and we now ready to go. You see what I'm saying? We now ready to go. So, yeah. There you go. Right there. So, any question? Brandon crystals are those three forces that make up what is called the immortal elixir. Are you talking about the triple darkness? In a way, yes. Because the immortal elixir is pretty much your life force. For real, for real. That's what the immortal elixir is in most of these texts. It's the life force, or the force. But the true and living force is source melody. You see what I'm saying? Or source energy. Now, it feels like a gold sunlight energy flowing through your body. So, when you tap into that, your soul body. So, any question? What's up, Star? Well, y'all don't have any question. I'm Marvin Jones. Y'all put the word out. Share this with your friends. You know, you check out my other codes. This is the Mail Now Order. My Cash App is mcjnetwork. You want to donate, and I'm out. Peace.